morning, everyone. I am not Nancy Merrill, despite what our order of services says, and I hope that she's feeling well, recovering at home. Thank you for our choir and Barbara for their music. And Nancy DeWeese asked me this morning if the responsibility of taking on the choir as music director by my son Leaf turned his hair white. I am happy to say no. He does that himself and it looks great. Thank you, Leaf. Our centering thought: we bid you welcome who come with weary spirit seeking rest, who come with troubles that are too much with you, who come hurt and afraid. We bid you welcome who come with hope in your heart, who come with anticipation in your step, who come proud and joyous. We bid you welcome who are seekers of a new faith, who come to probe and explore, who come to learn. We bid you welcome who enter this hall as a homecoming, who have found here room for your spirit. We find in this people a family. Whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are on your journey, we bid you welcome. Good morning and welcome all in the sanctuary and those of you on Zoom to Summit Unitarian Universalist Fellowship Sunday service. We welcome and celebrate those of all loving faiths and beliefs. We favor correct action over correct belief. We aspire to the shared principles intentionally drawn from nature, science, philosophy, humanist teachings, and world religions. The mission of Summit is to commit ourselves to building a more passionate, compassionate, just, sustainable, and loving world. Today, our pastor, Casey Marie Pandell, will speak on foregathering and gratitude. And we have our welcoming new members. I would also like to remind you that, no, that's from last week. We are recording today's service and we'll turn it off for our congregational meeting. I'm sorry, that's from last week too. You are invited to remain after for our community gathering, where you have a chance to give feedback on the service or share a joy or concern. We acknowledge that our fellowship resides on unceded Kumeyaay land. The Kumeyaay have lived on this land for 10,000 years and is their home today. We recognize the abusive history of colonization in California, and we are mindful of our duty to responsibly act from our position of privilege. And now we have several announcements from Al and Shannon, thank you.
And one from me too that I forgot to tell you about. I can wait.
You're the boss here, so I
Yeah, come on.
Good morning. Hi. Yes. Well, first announcement is on behalf of the Social Committee, Social Justice and Action Committee. This is the last week to buy pies from Mama's Kitchen. A week from today, I believe, is over. And like I say, Mama's Kitchen started 40 years ago, helping most found AIDS patients and cancer patients, and has expanded now into people with chronic illnesses. So, yeah. These 4 pies and the link is in the both in the e-news and also in the Scenic Summit. So, secondly, you see the bin outside here. This is for to collect foodstuffs, cans, toiletries for the Santee Food Bank, and so you can bring anytime. Just participation in that. It's something I think was is a good cause, and I think lots of people, from what I see, there's a lot of people in need of food in the county, all over. So Lastly, this is at 12:30 today. The Social Justice and Action Committee is having their monthly meeting, and all are welcome. Please come and see what we're all about. Thanks for your time.
This is a place of paradise, one worth serving. I'm here to update you on the Summitopolis auction. If you haven't been to an auction before, it's a lot of fun, food, bidding, fundraising to help with our operational bills, the food bank, local food bank, and our interfaith shelter. And we are looking for superheroes of all ages, all sizes, all talents. We are still fundraising business donations. We're doing very well. We have about 3/4 of our goal. So please do find the forms out back and take them to your favorite business. Your favorite business can become our favorite business if we're able to bid on it. There are still a couple service opportunities available for the Summitopolis coming up, such as decorating before the event, also collecting ads for the catalog, and a few others. Come find me and we can talk about them. And I would now like to introduce to you the personal donation form. This is for you.
I'm Batman, back from Gotham City, where I was hot on the tail of Catwoman last week. That's why I was not here. She told me to tell you, meow, baby.
We are looking for donations of all sorts. There's some ideas on here. My favorite donation and the goal of our donation are dinners or events of the community with 6 to 8 people or less. Those seem to be a hit, and I have a goal of about 12 to 16 of those these year. Get your donation forms in. You have quite a while to think about it. And that's the news from the Superhero Corner.
Batman out.
Same bat time, same bat channel. Someone once told me I was too young to get that reference. I was like, it's still in syndication. They play it on TV all the time. Just a couple of quick things that I want to let you all know that are going to be coming in the next few months. Next month in December, I am going to start a grief group. I hear a lot, and there's no one's grief is different or worse or better or anything than anyone else's. This congregation was alone for so long throughout the pandemic and after. There's a lot of grief that we need to hold together, whether that's the loss of spouses, the loss of jobs, impending losses. There's space for you. Initially, it will be in person. I feel really strongly that sometimes things need to be in person. I also get that sometimes we can't be in person. So if there's enough call for a Zoom option as well, we'll have one of both. In January, we will bring back our joys and sorrows as part of the service itself. We'll have a table of our candles up front. You'll be invited to light your candle before the service. You'll have an opportunity throughout the week to send me any joys and concerns that you have via text or email, or fill out a form during the service the day of, and I or our service associates will read them during the service. Lastly, I am starting a ministers book group in January. I'm giving you lots of time to read the book. We're going to start with our UU Common Read, which is on Repentance and Repair by Rabbi Danya Rutenberg. Don't write it down. I'll email you all this later. So just so you know, you've got a lot of time to get a copy of that book and get going on it. We'll have that probably towards the end of January to give you lots of time. And the idea is that we'll read one book a month for the Ministers Book Group, and I'll assign the books as we go. And for our chalice lighting today, we have words from Eric Walker Wickstrom called The Stars in the Pews. Each of the stars in the heavens is unique and individual, yet together they form the night sky. Here, each of us is unique and individual, yet together we are a congregation. Each of our congregations is unique and individual, yet together we are an association. For stars in the sky, for the people in the pews, for members of our association, in gratitude we light our chalice. Whether it is your first visit or your 5,000th visit, you are whole, you are holy, you are loved, and you are so welcome here. Welcome to worship.
Now let us rise and sing our You hymn as we are willing and able.
I got so excited telling you about all the new stuff we're going to be doing, I forgot to introduce myself. Good morning. My name is Casey Marie Pandell, and I am the minister here at Summit Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Today is a very special day in the life of our congregation. This is our new member ceremony. This is where we get to be in ritual space together to welcome people officially as members of our community. I would like to invite Peter and Carolyn Woodbury, Stacy and Glenn Sasaki, and Barbara Scheidecker up to the front as I read words from Rachel Rott entitled Welcome Home. Welcome, you questioners, seekers of truth with a capital T, pilgrims longing for sanctuary, travelers needing harbor from the storm. Welcome. Welcome. Those who are holding on by a thread, determined breakers of the chains of loneliness and isolation. You pushed through your fear because something told you that you deserve to belong. Welcome home. Welcome those who braid ropes again and again. You have been there for our siblings who are just hanging on. You gave them a hand into community and you told them that they could rest here. Welcome you who seek spiritual and religious community for your children and grandchildren. You entrust your young people here, and we as a community commit to nurture and respect them. Welcome children and youth. You give us the gift of your wisdom, your joy, your curiosity, and your trust that we will hold all of it safely. Welcome, welcome home. How do we make this tender place wider? How do we stretch into a bolder welcome, a radical generosity of the heart? Can we imagine ourselves as stewards and ushers not only into this space, but into our circle of belonging? Can we commit and recommit to being accountable to one another as an anti-racist, anti-oppressive community that centers marginalized voices, that listens to these voices, especially when what they are saying is hard to hear? Can we be willing to change? When we break our agreements with one another, can we offer amends? Can we be humble and generous? There is grace enough here. There is in this place the possibility of healing, of repair, of making things right within ourselves, between us, and with the wider world. There is in this place possibility. Welcome home. And now Mary will come and lead. Mary is leading our new member ceremony today.
Good morning. There you go. There you go. Good morning. I'm 3 weeks out from hip surgery, so still using devices, but doing all right. So I need some helpers. Come on, the new members, come over here. I need some helpers to hand out some gifts. Are there any young people who want to come hand out some gifts? Come on up, guys. I need some helpers. All of you. There's plenty of gifts to hand out. So we're going to do this special ritual. These are our new members. Some of them have been around for a bit, but everybody needs to get, each member gets a bag and each member gets a chalice. So you can each just take one of, either take a bag or a chalice. Oh, I guess you can take both. I think there's enough so everybody can get one. There you go. Now go find somebody who doesn't have one and gift them, okay? Can you go gift them? These chalices were painted by children and RE volunteers. Go make sure there should be one for everybody. There's one way down at the end for Barbara. There you go. You guys can stay up here and help me. Everybody needs this little purple piece of paper. And I need another one now. There we go. Can we share? It's sort of purple-ish. Here we go. Here's another one, guys, to share. Okay, so this is a ritual. And a ritual is a wonderful opportunity for us to do something together as a community to celebrate our new members. Anybody else need one? Okay. So everybody's got a piece of purple paper. The members, some of them need one. Here. Whoop. Gentle. Here, we can share. Okay, so we're going to do this litany. So the congregation has a part, the children and youth have a part, the new members have a part, and the congregation has a part. And these little rituals are just marking this wonderful event. That's why they're so important. Right, we ready? So let's read the top part all together. We, the members of Summit Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, welcome you into our covenant of love and freedom. We invite you to share our common quest for truth, compassion, justice, sustainability, and our belief that we may better shape the meaning of our lives through our belonging together. We join our energies, talents, and resources with yours, and we will support you in times of need as we ask you to support us. We will walk together with free minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. Okay, guys, this is our part. Ready? We welcome you into our community. We look forward to learning from you and having fun with you. We want to get to know you. We hope that you will want to get to know us. We ask that you respect us and remember that people of all ages are important members of this community. You are important to us. Now, the new members, this is your part. Okay, all together now. This fellowship is our fellowship. Now it is your fellowship too. It is a cradle for our dreams and the workshop of our common endeavors. We welcome you with great happiness. Yay! Okay. Nope, they're going to do. So we have one more special gift. We mark these ceremonies of transition with roses. And so our new member, one of our new member chairs.
welcoming membership. Normally we would have the kids do the whole thing, but we haven't dethorned these roses and we didn't want to take a chance. Because unfortunately, spiritual journeys may end up in a beautiful place, but sometimes you may get stuck and pricked along the way. And this is just a little reminder about that. So welcome. Yeah.
Yeah, spiritual journeys can be thorny. That's what covenants are for. That's what covenants are for. They hold us in the thorny moments.
Welcome. Welcome.
So should we lead everybody and our new members in our UU affirmation? You ready? We are Unitarian Universalists, people of open minds, loving hearts, and healthy hands. We have the Do Re Mi song today, right? Wait, we got to wait for Barbara. I got to get to my scooter too, so I can get out. So we're going to head back to our classes with the Do Re Mi song, but let's sing it together as we head back. Or wait.
Welcome all our new wonderful members. Now let us rise as we are willing and able and sing hymn 347, Gather the Spirit.
Please join me in a time of silent prayer, meditation, or reflection as I read words from Liz James entitled, remembership. Today, our new members, you join in membership. This is a moment of excitement and possibility. And although I don't wish to pull you out of this moment, I need to talk to you for a bit about a moment in your future. There will come a time where we are not a community of excitement and possibility that is your true home. There will come a moment where you will not fit and we will disappoint you. Memorize the feelings you have in this moment together because we will need them months from now or years from now. You will need them in the broken-hearted moment to come when you realize that we together might not be all you thought we were. You will not fit. If every one of us fit, we would not be called to grow. This religion is not a thing you join, it is a thing you are called to co-create. So prepare now for when we will break one another's hearts. Know that we will carry you through that and know who will carry you through that. Be ready. Hold on to this moment, this memory, for that time in the future when you may be ready to turn away. Your moment of remembership today will be one of the most precious parts of your journey as a Unitarian Universalist. Today, plant the seeds in your heart that will prepare you for it. I'm a bit of a homebody. I'm the type of person who will make plans with someone, and then last minute when those plans get canceled because something else comes up, I will breathe a sigh of relief. Along the same lines, if those plans don't get canceled, I'll probably complain about it a little bit while I get ready, because the lure of an elastic waistband, a good book, and oodles of puppy snuggles is hard to resist. Of course, by the time I get where I am going, I am thrilled to be there, and generally, I'll stay much later than I intended, usually hours longer than I did. It's not for any particular type of gathering. It's with every gathering all the time. So as I started considering this question of gathering together, I knew deep down this is why, as much as I might mutter and curse to myself en route, that I stay. Particularly on the heels of these COVID days where until the not so distant past, for months on end, we sat in our homes craving some type of contact beyond that which we had within the walls of our domain. It's no wonder people got so good at Zoom so quickly. For many, it was the only connection to any world outside of our humble abodes and perhaps with other people at all. It's no mistake that our congregations pivoted to online services as soon as lockdowns began rolling out. We, at our core, must gather. There's a soulful siren song to it. And it isn't to say that we shouldn't or can't relish our time alone, but there is something deeply human about our experiences together. I'd like to share some words from Alice Waters, an American chef, author, and food activist. There is a power of gathering. It inspires us delightfully to be more hopeful, more joyful, more thoughtful. In a word, more alive. I don't think it's a coincidence that those words come from a chef, and especially one who considers food not simply nourishment, but a way of life. The ritual of gathering around a good meal is one that transcends time and culture and generations. It is one of the core opportunities we have to gather and bring together each of our individual lives to celebrate our time together. I often wonder how it was that it became so enmeshed as we're entering this holiday season that the idea of hosting the perfect dinners at the holidays, sure, good food matters, but who doesn't want to enjoy a good hot meal, right? But when did the point become perfection? When did the act of community give way to precision entertaining? When we consider Waters' words, what we should hear is her getting to a really central idea of why we gather together in worship. Worship should be hopeful, joyful, thoughtful, and alive. Those are all supremely powerful states of being. I feel exceptionally strongly about gathering, as much as I grouse about it, the when and the why we do. I came to Unitarian Universalism at the age of 28. I was not raised within the faith, and at the time I eschewed organized religion like it was my job. No way, no how. I had zero interest in church, period, end of discussion. So how did I find my way here? I often say that people do not come to a church on Sunday just because they're bored. Something draws us to this place of worshipfulness and guides us here. In my case, it was search for belonging after great loss, belonging anywhere that I could find my bearings again. What kept me here was people who routinely came together to create a beloved community. They had worked for many decades to create a space for themselves, and they welcomed me openly into it with loads of loving kindness and mountains of enthusiasm. At a time where being alone was deeply distressing and also a source of indelible comfort for me, their community spoke to a deep need within my soul to not be alone, but to engage my life fully with others. It became a home that I had no idea was possible, nor even knew was there for me to engage. Now, I can't speak for anyone here today, our newest members, who are people who have been amongst you for many years, but I suspect there's something of a seeking that was similar in each of us that draws us to Summit. Humans are communal by and large. We tend to gravitate towards other humans, particularly in times of great need or great joy. But gathering itself speaks to a greater necessity of connection. The worlds we create together, the work we engage in with others, the lives that we lead in community, each have a different richness than just the ones that we create alone, and indeed, perhaps cannot ever truly create alone. Unitarian preacher and theologian William Ellery Channing once said, "Every human being is intended to have a character of his own, to be what no others are, and to do what no other can do." This acknowledgement of the uniqueness of each of us sets a foundation for the inherent pull to gathering. Each of us has our own talents, treasures, perspectives, and knowledge. Even if two people have the same knowledge, their experience enhances the knowledge that they have. No two people can ever be exactly alike. So when we gather together, we are given the opportunity to engage fully with people with whom we share similarities, of course, but with whom we share a multitude of differences. Gathering gives us the chance to do the really important work of understanding, of being known, that is fundamental to community. Across cultures, across generations, across class and race and gender, gathering, a really intentional sharing of space and perspective is how we start to build something wonderful. Now you might wonder, what the heck do you mean by intentional gathering? And it's a great question. Every coming together of people has worth. Sometimes exactly what we need for our basest human fulfillment is just sitting in a room with a few good friends, sharing food and laughter. And this gathering of friends is no less important than anything else that I say here today, and we'll come back to it in a minute. But my point towards intentionality gets more to the centrality of being understood and being seen. Various parts of our Unitarian Universalist principles suggest exactly this type of gathering. Our third principle calls for the acceptance of one another and the encouragement towards spiritual growth. You cannot have one without the other. We've got to meet people where they are to encourage any sort of change and growth, and that starts out with really settling in to see and understand each other for our flaws, for our goodness, and everything in between. We can begin to follow our fourth principle, the responsible search for truth and meaning, once we have set the tone for our gathering by that intrinsic connection. When we engage those aspects with full purpose and care, we can begin to take that work out into the greater community and the world at large in order to follow our sixth principle, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. Gathering isn't just about growing. Gathering is healing. As we continue to watch world events unfold in ways that disappoint at best and frighten at worst, this is why we gather. We hope that we can depend on our communities to reignite hope and joy within us when the things outside our doors can be bleak and terrifying. When it feels like everything is falling apart, we gather in hope that we can still build something better from the fallen pieces around us. And we absolutely need each other to do this work together. On a smaller, though no less important note, as we are entering the holiday season, and although it can be a season of giving and merrymaking, it can be a tough one. I met a woman last year, less than a year widowed at the time. She shared in a group setting how she was feeling, and she shrugged a little. I don't have anyone, she said. Now that my wife has died, I'm all alone. My parents are gone, my siblings are too, I have no family left. I'm all alone. And honestly, Christmas just isn't the same without her. My wife, she was Christmas. She didn't sound desolate, but there was a finality to her words, a resoluteness. It wasn't a cry for pity, but it was a statement of fact. She's still working on getting out and meeting new people, but her people, the people she had spent decades of her life growing relationship with, those who brought meaning and love into her life, they were gone. And she was here, alone. It's not lost on me that big holidays can be spiritually distressing for some, and it is not a coincidence that the 5 or so weeks' time between Thanksgiving and New Year's are statistically the busiest season for the funeral industry. When we come from broken homes, it can feel like there is nowhere safe to celebrate. When we have impossible relationships with parents, siblings, children, it can feel like a struggle just to come together. When we feel utterly alone due to death, addiction, strained relationships, even something as simple as moving away to a new place, the idea of the holidays can be painful reminders that we don't have a warm heart or a warm hand to warm us during a winter chill. How lucky we may be then to find people, our chosen family with whom we can gather. My folks spent 6 years opening their home to my stray friends. I worked at Medieval Times for 6 years, and those gentlemen who were knights who had families that weren't close became bonus kids, because every year without fail they joined for Thanksgiving lunch before trotting off to fight knights and serve Cornish hen halves. One year, one of my bonus sisters, a former Jehovah's Witness, excommunicated from her faith, barred from her family simply because she loved a woman, celebrated her very first Christmas with us. We aren't close anymore, but she has carried our love with her every Christmas since. We gather because the act of being in a space of love, kindness, and care can be so deeply life-giving. It's the kind of love that can change the world. So why bother gathering? In the face of hours of prepping and planning and cooking and decorating, with the pressures of perfection, being a good host or hostess, making sure that people are fed and entertained, why bother? We bother because when we do so, we share a bond that is missing, that we cannot quite grasp when we are on our own. The food is nourishing, of course, and the decorations are lovely, but when we strip all of that away, what is left is us. Our hopes, our dreams, our sorrows, our strife, the love we share together and for each other. Gathering is a gift, one that not everyone gets, and one in which we get to choose to share it with one another. Gathering is a tool that can affect the change we wish to see in our congregations, our communities, and the world at large. Gathering is a balm for our weary souls. It is all of these and more, and we gather because deep down, foundationally, it is a truly human part of our experience in this life. So may it be, and amen.
Thank you, Casey. We gather here in gratitude and love because we are able to, as Summit is a fellowship supported entirely by the generosity of our members and friends. We depend on each other. We appreciate our faithful pledgers who keep up their monthly contributions. If you'd like to support Summit today, our ushers will come around to collect your donations. At home on Zoom, you may contribute to our virtual plate. The link is given in the chat. Before we sing our closing hymn. Carol, did you have a announcement to make? Is this a good time for you?
One final announcement. The music you heard, if you remember at the beginning, banjo player, that was Mean Mary and her brother, Frank. And they'll be here 2 weeks. Well, a day less than 2 weeks. Saturday, November 27th at 7 p.m. And Pam Kerr and I will be selling tickets out in front of the library today, $20 per ticket. It's going to be a wonderful show. She's got incredible talent. She's a wonderful singer, songwriter, and some of you have heard her before. It'll be a lot of fun. It's a very Merry Christmas with Mean Mary. So hope to see you there.
Thank you, Carol. Now let's rise and sing as we are willing and able, and sing 1057, Go Lift It Up.
Next week, our service is going to be a little bit different than usual. Our UU president, Reverend Sophia Betancourt, is going to be at First UU. This is one of her first big speaking engagements. Our sanctuary is going to be open for all of you to come and watch that service together, our new members included. Please come and support Reverend Sophia. This is a big moment for our faith. A theologian, an educator, a religious educator. It's very exciting to have her in San Diego speaking, so please come next Sunday and join watching it on Zoom with us as we Zoom in, because there's going to be a lot of people at First UU, so let's do it together in our own home. We know that sometimes gathering can be difficult. We know that sometimes getting together can be one of the last things we want to do. It's so much easier to just sit and be alone with our thoughts, but please engage together, gather together, choose to be together in this space. We are so lucky to have found each other and to grow this community together. Amen, shalom, salam, namaste, and blessed be. Go now in peace. May the light within you be a blessing to the world.
Our closing circle song.
And a 5-minute break afterwards. There.